So now we have all of these reduced, we have the centers reduced, and what you have now is simply a Worm 1 puzzle. But not exactly, because in the Wormhole 1 you could see all the different edges, right? Here, the edges do exist, the internal edges, the wormhole edges, but you just can't see them. For instance, if I move this here, I can move this across and you can see there are wormhole edges and they do have to match. So they may be hiding what you need. So you have to bear that in mind. Now the first step in any wormhole solve, and that's really what this has become, the rest was just reducing this to a wormhole, as you do with most hybrid type puzzles, is you have to find out which one of these areas is fused. Because in the core of this is basically a fused cube, a conjoined cube, so to speak, where you have the 2 by 2 by 2 portion which is fused together, this corner fused to these edges. And you have to find out which one that is. And the way that I do that is you move this, you can see that it's somewhere here in this layer because I'm moving, you might not be able to see to it, but you can see I'm moving these with it. If I move this, I'm not moving these wormhole areas here, so it's somewhere in here. I'll move this up top and you can see it's somewhere up here, so it's probably going to be this corner. I can move this, I can see that it's not moving this here, but it is moving this over here. So it's whatever corner, wherever you move it, it's going to drag the other middle layer with it. That's going to be the fused one. And that's going to go to the left and to the back. That way I can do this move without causing any destruction and dysfunction here. I can do this move and this move. So I'm going to similarly find where this one is. So if I move this here, it's not moving, so that's good. Move it here, so it's somewhere down in this layer. Somewhere down in this layer. Well, which one? Well, is it this? It's hard to tell because you can't see it, so I'm going to have to go like this. All right. As opposed to this. Okay, so that tells me it's somewhere here. It's one of these guys. Is it the red? Is it this one? Well, when I move this, it moves. When I move this, it doesn't. That tells me this is it. So it's the red, white, and green. This is the fused one over here. So the first step of a wormhole solve, I don't know if you can see, the wormhole area is so good. Yeah, I'd have to position this different. Well, I'll do the best we can. So the way that this is going to work is once you've found the fused corner is I'm going to put the edges in. Well, first thing I'm going to do is get the centers in. So let's find the center. This belongs here. The orange, this belongs here, and the green is here. So this is all set up right. The other thing I should also mention, actually, is that when you do any middle moves, it does not move the inner wormholes. Any equatorial, middle move, any E moves, M moves, or S moves. So now that the centers are right, I'm just going to put these edges in, and I don't have to sweat it. I can do any way that I want. So we're going to do the white and green. So this will simply just come down here, but I have to coordinate it with the center. Let's move the center up, turn it around, move it down. So this is in. Now I want to do the green and orange. Happens to be this. This is going to come down to here. So let's turn this upside down. Like so. Well, best way to turn it upside down, I guess, is steering clear of this. We'll do F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. Okay, so now that's sort of where it needs to be. Oh, you know, I have to hold it in front of me when I do that. So if it's in front of me, it'll flip F-R-U-R-I-U-I-F-I. Okay, so now I can bring this center up, turn it, bring it down. So now this is in. This are in. Now I want to do the orange and white, which is over here. So once again, this white can come up to meet this over here. And I don't have to worry about the wormhole aspects because it just follows suit. So this is in, good, good, and good, and you're going to find that these wormhole areas are also in. Okay, slate reorganization. It turns out I had the wrong fused corner. It was actually the red, white, and green. So same concept though. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is going to go to the back and to the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce it and place it at the same time. So in this case, because this is actually my fused area, back and to the left rather, white and orange. Here's a white and orange. It's opposite, but I want to fuse it with or combine it with the wormhole portion too. Let's see if I can find it. White and orange. White and orange. If I can't see it, here it is. So here's a white and orange over here. I know that's hard to see. There it is. See? White and orange. I think I need better lighting. Got to invest in more equipment, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to take this white and orange, and I'm going to reduce it at the top. So I'm just going to move this up like so. Remember, do not move this fused portion. It's going to throw everything off. And I want to take this and I want to move it up. So actually, if I move it here, if I move it in, this white is actually here. It's going to end up upside down. So I'm just going to move this up, turn, move it down. Doing the algorithm will flip this and keep this the same. So remember, these stay the same. The line stays the same. These flip. So it's F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. So I'm going to put this over to here. You can see this is already behind it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and move this here. So now I've got the whites here and the yellows here lined up. Now what I'm going to do is I'd like to get this out of the way from here so I can move this back down. So I'm going to move this, do a U move, which moves this to the right side, do a SUNY, which will take this and bring this back here, and this will end up here and not end up going back the other way. So that's going to be R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. And now we simply move it. So now this is back over here, so I just move that down. So in that way, this is put back in, and now this is fully reduced. Now that this is fully reduced, I want to take this and move this down. However, I have to turn it upside down because it's not lined up. So once again, F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I. Move this in here and go splat. So now this edge is in. You could put this corner in now if you want, just to kind of get it out of the way. I usually like to do that. The corner's here. Let's just move that up. Now I'm going to do an RID, RD. Well, I'm just going to roll this into here. So now this corner's in. Okay, now I want to put this edge in, the white and the blue. So here's the outer white and blue. The inner white and blue, now that's the question. Not there. Aha! Right here. So this is the white and blue over here. So it's a matter of bringing it up. Okay, now I also want to bring this one up. Now this particular white and blue, the blue's on top. So I'm going to move this up with the exchange way. Turn, turn, and turn. Okay, so the blue's on top, and that is over here, which is going to fit this well. I'm going to move this to here, doing the SUNY, R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. And now we're going to move this in here. And the way that that's going to work is we bring it in, so we've reduced it. I'm then going to want to take this out of the way while being able to move this back. So I'm going to move this to the left and SUNY it into submission. R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. That brings it back in here and down. Now that we have this in, I want to put this down here, but I've got to flip it. So bring this here, and we do our F, R, U, R, I, U, I, F, I, and splat. And just like that, this is in. So I've got these crosses here. I'm going to fill in the corners. This one belongs here. So we just roll that in. Whoop, wrong one. That was just for practice. We're going to roll this one in, and that one works. And now this, always being cognizant not to move this guy. I've done that so many times with this and had to start over again. So we've got the first layer now. So the first layer is done, and it's reduced. So it's going to be a little bit more just having to pay attention to things on the middle layer. So for the middle layer, same thing. We're going to look for the green and yellow, orange rather, green and orange, Green and orange. Well, here's a green and orange. And it's not there. Didn't think it was. It must be one of these guys. But which one? Well, let's see. I'll just move this here and oh, I can just move this. So it's actually right here, and the green is on top. Nope, green is on bottom. Green is on the bottom. So that will work well. I'll just move this into here. RU, RIU, R2U, RI, and again. Okay, so we're going to move this into here, like so. Kind of take it on faith that, yeah. So that's here. Bump it out of the way, and Sunni the snot out of it. RU, RIU, R2U, RI. This gets moved back down. So this has been reduced. I want to move it in, but I've got to turn it upside down because I can't move it in from this direction. I'll end up going on my no-fly zone here. So F-R-U-R-I-U-I. F-I brings us here, and then we'll do our funky algorithm to bring it here. Turn and down. Alright, so we're cruising. We've got this here, blue and orange. Well, here's a blue and orange. And, well, is it there? Nope. Blue and orange is right here. So I got to get this up to here without destroying anything. Remember, no fly zone. Let's go and move this up. We got to get this out of the way, because if I don't, it's going to end up down here. So we'll do the algorithm. Turn, turn, and down. Okay, let's get this to the left and to the back. Blue and orange, they happen to be right, no, they're not right across from each other. So the blue's on top, which fits this. Let's move this here, and RU, RIU, R2U, RI. This is in. We reduce it down, turn this to the side, and do the old Sunni trick. RU, RIU, R2U, RI. That puts this back here, so I can go splat. And now we can move this into here. So we'll hold it over here, making sure that this is stable. R2U, well. Nice handy algorithm, and that's it. So without even pausing, we're going to go blue and red. Blue and red, where are you? Blue and red are right here, blue and red. Let's get this where we want it. Here's a blue and red, well, here. Blue's on top, this is also on top, so when the blue comes over, it'll be over here. So let's go ahead and turn this upside down. Moving it over here, we'll turn this upside down. This will stay the same. F, R-U, R-I-U-I, F-I. Okay, that puts that in line. Move it down, bring this to the side, and Sunni it into submission. R-U, R-I-U, R-2-U, R-I. Bring this back down. This is where it needs to be, and one final push. Now we can't move it in from here because we're going to end up in our no-fly zone, and as you can see, we're going to end up moving these. Not good. So let's move it to our safe zone here and do F-R-U, R-I-U-I, F-I, and now we can do it because this won't be touched. Turn, 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 and down. Okay, second layer is now done. And as you know, life doesn't begin until you're on the last layer. I think Confucius might have said that first. Anyway, we're going to put this over here. So we're going to work on the reductive process with this as well, as best we can. You can see all these are up, and some of these aren't. This is already reduced. You can see the yellow and the orange in here. Why don't we work on this, because the blue will turn over to here. So we're going to do this the same way. We're going to move this down. Now we're going to stay away from this guy. We're going to move this down so that it's reduced. And now what I'm going to do is something a little bit different, because if I move this and Sunni this to here, this is going to remain here, and I don't want to do that. Instead, I want to flip-flop these two and not touch this and not really touch this position. So I'm going to do an adjacent edge swap. I'm going to move this over here, do an adjacent edge swap, and then turn it back. It won't compromise this position or this position. So I could have done it this way the other times too, but I didn't really need to. So anyway, we're going to flip-flop this to our U, to our U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R. Okay, let's go ahead and get this back. And now we're going to move this back in. Splat. Okay, so upon doing that, this has been reduced, this has been reduced. Now, I created some placement parity here, but I can just do an opposite edge swap or any kind of swap to get this back. 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. Okay, so let's see what we've got. This is reduced, this is reduced. You're going to have a couple of scenarios, but this is one of them. This is in the right place, green and orange. Red and orange. So these are the right places, but they have to be swapped. They have to be flip-flopped. Well, that's where we make use of that final algorithm that I was talking about, that M algorithm. And what that'll do is it will effectively flip these two. And as you recall, what that's going to be is MI, U, MI, U, MI, 2U, then reverse the M's, M, U, M, U, M, 2U, and look at that, it flips these two. So now we have all of these completely reduced. Luckily these are all rotated correctly. If not, you'd do the beginner's technique on the last layer. And now I just want to rotate these up. The way to do that is I use the SUNY to do that. Because I can't do certain algorithms that need to do this maneuver, because I'm going to mess things up. What the SUNY is ultimately you want to get it into this position. When you do, you find the orange that's facing you. No orange is facing me here, but it is facing me here. So when I do that, this is going to be the direction that I'm going to do the SUNY on. If it was here, I just do the normal RU, RU, R2, URI. Because it's here, I have to do the left-sided version, but I can't do it with this in the background. I've got to move it over here so this is safely tucked away, and then do the anti-SUNY here. LI, UI, L, UI, LI, 2U, L, and they're all going to be flipped up. Now, if you want further description on how to do that, that's in the Wormhole tutorial and also in the conjoined cube tutorial. I can point you to that. So there are previous tutorials that I've done with that. So you're inevitably going to have a situation where two are going to be, well, you could have a situation where two are in and two need to be flip-flopped, or none are in. But you do the same algorithm. Normally I do a corner swap, but that means doing a DI move, and I can't do that because this is a no-fly zone. So I'm going to do a variation of that. It's what's called a T-perm. And that's going to be RU, RI, UI, RIF, R, RU, RI, UI, rather RUI, RIUI, then RU, RIF, and you can see all these are up. Now it's a matter of rotating these. You're going to have one in, move it to the side, opposite edge swap, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, and now move it here for an adjacent edge swap, putting this back in, 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, 2R, move this in, and it's done. And your Wormhole 2 has now been solved. And through this, we went over how to do mix-up strategies and wormhole strategies, a perfect blend of both of these. Now there's also a Wormhole 3, which is really the 4x4 version. I lay odds there's not too much difference in the solve, and I haven't felt as compelled to do that one, but if you guys find any situations that you didn't find here, I think I've given you enough to solve these mix-ups and also these wormholes and the combination of both of those. A nice and fascinating variation of different solve strategies, certainly worth your while. Thanks for watching.